instead of a clap.
That's the world's smallest violin, but also the world's part crab.
Tiny jerk-off.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Country Hipster Podcast. My name is Paul. I am the Country Hipster. This is my brother and co-host Adam.
What's up, guys?
How you guys doing out there? First, we're going to get right into what we're drinking. We've actually talked about this a few times on the podcast, and Adam went out today and got it. Neshaminy Creek Brewing, which they have several locations, teamed up with Rita's Water Ice. I'm sorry, we're I got to do it right. Rita's Water Ice because we're
Philly natives.
So they teamed up and they made a mango blonde ale with mango, like with the Rita's Water Ice. So I am trying it for the first time. I was actually pretty excited about trying this.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. It's
yeah.
I said earlier, Katie was drinking one with dinner, and I said it's a very like sit on the beach and drink all day kind of beer.
Yeah, this would get me into trouble. Fuck yeah, this is good.
Yeah,
good job, Neshaminy Creek. So
I'm trying to see.
So what we are going to be doing on this podcast as well at some point is I am going to have Adam in this vein, but not nearly as good as this at all. I am going to have Adam try two of probably the worst beers I've ever had in my life as well. So that should be fun, but this is very fucking nice. Well done, Neshaminy Creek.
It's a bold statement.
Worst
beers.
Well, considering how shitty, like the shitty beers that I drink, for me to say that it's like one of the worst beers that I've ever had, it's a pretty bold statement. So let me untap this.
It does not say it on the can, at least anywhere that I can see. Oh no, it does, right there in front of my fucking face. This is 5%.
Oh, that's nice. That's fucking crushable.
Yeah,
that's very crushable. Blonde.
It's refreshing.
Oh man, it is nice. It is nice. I mean, where is it? Oh fuck, I can't find it.
Now that we've if you go on me, I've checked it in recently, so it's like the last thing. If you can't find it, just look up me.
I'll look up you.
I'll say now that we've sucked Neshaminy Creek's dick.
Yes.
For 10 minutes.
Yes. Okay.
Now let's cup the balls.
First off, okay, I'll fucking check it in later. I don't care. People are already like, what the fuck? This is going to be another 45 minutes of them talking about stupid shit and
Tom.
Nothing about the album that we're here to talk about. So let's get into the 45 minutes now.
Yeah.
First of all, I guess second of all at this point, intro music. The Unholy Four from Charlottesville, Virginia. Dirty Knife is the name of the song. Go check it out. It's not just like a 10-second clip of a song. There's really a whole song that goes with it. It's a pretty good song.
It'd be solid if it was just like it's not a 10-second clip. It's actually 15 seconds.
Yeah, it's 15 seconds long. You only get 10 seconds from us, which is probably true of other things as well. Yeah. But so at any rate, yes, Unholy Four from Charlottesville, Virginia. Go check them out. Spotify, Bandcamp, Instagram, all that fun shit. But but probably actually the most important thing we need to talk about is the Katie bet.
Yes.
So, as we discussed in the last episode, it had been at that point week and a half, over a week, and we were like, "Fuck, she still hasn't noticed. She hasn't noticed the kitchen." So to give you guys total reference, if people are just listening for the first time, or if you really weren't paying attention, or maybe we didn't describe it well enough. So my kitchen, I have a really decent sized kitchen, and we have in the middle of all of the cabinets is a floor to almost ceiling pantry, and it's like two doors. You open it out, and you got things you could pull out as well. It's actually really fucking convenient. But the people we bought the house from, at some point, there's the space. It's probably what would you say? It's about 2 feet between the top.
No, less. It's probably like about foot and a half between the top of the cabinet and the ceiling.
Right, and the way that they're designed, at least on the other cabinets, is that there's basically these panels that go across them and enclose it. It's dead space. It's not space that would be usable anyway. But all the other cabinets have the dead space. Above this pantry is they tried to do something fancy. Didn't work out. They didn't even paint the ceiling to match the rest of the ceiling, which was weird as well. No. But like whatever, it was something that like
they were trying to do something. It looked like what they were trying to do was kind of have like spindles on the corners and try to do something in between. But it didn't.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
It didn't work out
and
well.
It didn't work out well, and it was just basically an empty space. And from the time we like moved into the house, it's something like, "Oh, do you think Adam can fix that?" Something Katie was constantly saying to me. I was like, "Yeah, man, Adam can fucking do that." But we're like a year and a half actually living here, and we just whatever. He just didn't get around to it. And so
I say the biggest problem was that I knew to do it, I needed my actual table saw, my table saw, not my piece of shit one that I can just throw in the back of my car. And that was at my old house, and then it moved up here to Paul's, but it was up here at Paul's disassembled. So I finally took the time to reassemble my table saw and fill in this negative space a more proper way than the previous owners did. Yes,
you did, and it looks great. It really does. It looks great, and Adam got that done. But one of my motivations of it was that Katie would not let me hang up the dartboard, which we had to put some like plywood backing on that as well. But she wouldn't let me put up the dartboard until Adam had done the
So we figured
the kitchen.
So I did both of them in a day.
Yes. And she was gone, and we set the over under, and I figured the kitchen was pretty obvious that she would notice. Hey, you're probably gonna notice it right away. I think we set the over under 3 days. I said 2 days that she would notice. Adam said it at even, and we got to just about 2 weeks. And even then, I will say that Katie didn't actually notice that it was done. What happened was I honestly started feeling bad.
Can you not leave her alone with Regina, please?
I know, right? Well, to defend her, you did a really good job of like that. Just fucking blends in. What you did was like excellent.
In all fairness, what I had originally tried to match the stain, which if you've ever tried to match stain, especially old stain, it doesn't work well.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up using. They had taken the panels out of this space, so there was this negative space, but they left the panels on top of the cabinets. So I was able to use the majority of the thing I was used to enclose it was the existing panels that were originally there. So I didn't really have to match the stain for much. So it ended up working out nicely because it's probably exactly how it looked when it was actually done in the first place.
Exactly. And but yeah, I started actually feeling kind of bad. Like, I'm not telling my wife about something, she's not noticing it. So I tried dropping little hints at one point. Like I like it was funny. The one day this was like before she does like she came in the kitchen and I hugged her and I'm holding her and I kind of turn her and I start rocking her back and forth like this. So she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing. I'm just rocking you." So like she would like hopefully see it and be like, "Oh, look at that.
I just love you, baby."
Yeah, that didn't work. So then like where I do a lot of like the stuff with the crock pot, right? It's like right underneath the cabinets. So it actually worked out really well. And she's like, "Yeah, the steam's coming up. You shouldn't do the crock pot here anymore. You should do it on the other cabinet and whatnot." And she's starting to like discolor the wood a little bit, this, that, and the other thing on the cabinets. And I was like, "Oh, I'm not worried about that." She's like, "What do you mean you're not fucking worried?" I was like, "Oh, if it gets messed up, Adam can just fix that. That's not a problem." And she just looks at me. She's like, "Yeah, Adam's going to fix shit around here. We've been asking him for how long to fix shit." I'm like, "I don't know. Maybe you should fucking look around and see what he does or doesn't do." And she's like, "Well, I've been asking for it." Oh fuck, when did that happen?
Oh, that's great.
And then I just had to laugh. I'm like, "Yeah, that happened like 2 weeks ago."
That's fucking great. Paul didn't tell me the story of how he actually told it. That's fucking beautiful.
So I did drop the hint because I'm like, "God damn it, when is she?" Because worst case scenario, she was going to find out about the dartboard this past weekend because we had a barbecue here and we actually opened up the garage doors, put all the food down here. If you actually see on TikTok, I put a thing on the Country Hipster TikTok showing a little 360 view, getting ready to set up on the barbecue, and called it the Ottsville Barbecue Garage. Well, it's not. It's the Ottsville Record Garage. So she would have seen the dartboard. So, in that time, which I think we put the over-under at 3 weeks for the dartboard, because, like, honestly, I don't know that she's been in the garage since we put it up until this past weekend. So she would have found out this weekend anyway. And I just, which I don't know if that would have been funnier or not if she was like with everybody here, like, "Wait, when the fuck did the dartboard go? Why didn't he do my kitchen yet?" You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Yeah. I would have enjoyed that because I came over for the barbecue.
Yeah.
So I would have just loved to have been there for the moment where she's like, "You can fucking hang this, but you can't do that." I'm like,
yeah, but that would have had. See, so she was in here like earlier, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like helping me like move stuff around.
No,
or
I
whatever.
know.
So she would have seen it. So, or maybe she wouldn't have noticed. She didn't notice the kitchen for 2 weeks. So
It's
who
true.
knows? No, she would have been much more observant of the dartboard, but because that doesn't blend in with the with the door. It just, it's just there.
Yeah.
So we have also a special sponsor today. This podcast is brought to you by Snoop's Dogs. You want to get me a hot dog there?
You want a hot dog? It's Dollar Dog Night here at the Oswald Record
Yeah,
Garage.
Dollar Dog Night with Snoop's Dogs. I got the things over there.
Oh, you even brought the mustard?
I brought the mustard. We got rolls. We got got some tongs over there. So our brother Mike, who is named for the box of Mike, works for Dietz and Watson Hot Dogs, and
They're not just called Dietz and Watson hot dogs. They're just like
there's just Dietz. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So he's a very good company man and loves his Dietz and Watson to the point where he went out and bought a hot dog roller. So he lent us the hot dog roller for the barbecue, which actually really turns out to be very convenient. If you get the chance to get a hot dog roller and use that for a barbecue, so you don't have to use your grill, it's actually pretty fucking convenient. These are bacon cheese dogs, although there's not very much bacon in it, I will say that, and not enough cheese in my opinion. But we're calling them Snoop's Dogs. And I'm sure you can figure out why we're calling them Snoop's Dogs today. So thank you. We might be eating some hot dogs as the night goes on. So I'm not really gonna get
This is the second time we've eaten on this podcast.
Oh yeah, it is. It is 2 weeks in a row too, actually. So I'm not really gonna get into individual of what have you been up to, because I know what us motherfuckers have been up to. We were supposed to record last week.
That's right. We have a joint. What are you up to?
We have a joint. What are we up to? And instead of recording, we went to see the band of the album that we're talking about tonight. The album, in case you're wondering, is Gaslight Anthem, the 59 Sound, which is right here. This was one of Adam's picks. And we went to see the Gaslight Anthem last Thursday night in Bethlehem. It was a lot of fun,
So the way this whole thing started was, I had texted Paul and said, "Hey, Gaslight's coming in May. Let me figure out like what my schedule will be." My schedule ends up usually being Tuesday through Saturday. So the show being on a Thursday, I was kind of screwed. So I went to put in for a day off, but then the other overnight manager put in for vacation that week, and his got put in before I had a chance to put my day in. Mm-hmm. So he was on vacation. So I had kind of given up on seeing the show. And then what had happened was
the good fucking hot dog.
Yeah, they are. Mm-hmm. I feel like when you the longer they cook, the more the bacon.
The better
comes
they
out.
get. Yeah. Yep.
So while the other manager was on vacation, a manager from another store was supposed to come. I refer to it as celebrity bartend every time a manager comes from a different store. He was supposed to come celebrity bartend the 2 days where I would have off last week. Between some miscommunication, the other manager that was supposed to come relieve me ended up also being on vacation last week. So originally I had volunteered. So I went into work. I worked Wednesday. I worked Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday, my store manager calls me and tells me that this guy isn't available to cover. I was supposed to have off Tuesday, Wednesday, and then do Thursday through yesterday, Monday, Memorial Day. So when he called me Monday and told me this, I volunteered to work straight through Monday, because I've always said I'm judgmental of myself enough to not know if I'm doing a good job at my job. Mm-hmm. But I know the one thing I am good at is being a body that's there and capable. So I'll always volunteer to be there as much as possible if it helps out. But he's like, "Oh no." He's like, I get when I get paid overtime, my overtime gets very, very expensive. So he didn't want to pay me as much overtime as he already had to pay me. So he's like, "How about you work Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I'll give you off Thursday?" And I was like, "Okay." So I texted Paul and I was like, "Hey, we were supposed to record on Tuesday." And I was like, "Hey, I can't record tomorrow, but I can record Thursday." And he's like, "Cool." And then I texted him, I think the next night, we said something, and we ended up getting the tickets. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, it all kind of fell into plan that we ended up finally getting to see the show.
See the show that we had talked about a while back and didn't think was going to happen, but it was pretty perfect. That we did get to see. Got to hang out with my friend Tom and his girlfriend Trisha while we were there.
I say shout out to Tom and Trisha.
Tom and Trish, yep, and that was a good time. And then we went to Waffle House afterwards, which Adam's never been to Waffle House. I've only been to Waffle House once, and it was down in Georgia. And there is a Waffle House, like now, I'm living in the sticks. There's a Waffle House in Bethlehem, like right by the place where we saw the show. And
Waffle House is wild.
It's wild, man. It's wild. What did the one girl say to you?
Oh, when I was paying the check, I was like, she said something. She's like, I'm about to walk out of here. I'm like, why are you about to walk out? I'm like, is someone starting shit? You want me to fight somebody for you? She's like, nah, I just can't take these people. I'm about to walk out of here. And just you always see like TikToks of like just like wild ass fights happening at Waffle House. Nothing had that happened at our Waffle House,
but you could see how it happened.
Yes. Just like the way that I mean, it was relatively small.
Yeah. Yep.
Which kind of blew my mind because there was only like 2 servers and 2 cooks, and but it was a relatively small place.
Yeah.
But just the way they all interacted with each other was fucking like just wild.
It was pretty crazy, and they were great. The workers were great. The food was good. I mean, it was Waffle House good. You know what I mean? Like it's not like you're getting fucking gourmet. So yeah, we went to Waffle House afterwards. Overall, I thought the show was cool. It was a solid set. They did a couple covers I could have done without, but other than that, I heard a lot of the songs that I was really looking forward to hearing. Not every song I wanted to hear, because generally my feeling on Gaslight is that I don't particularly care for anything beyond the 59 sound.
Yeah.
But I did hear like the main songs that I wanted to hear, and I thought that was pretty cool. So I don't know how you felt about the show.
Hold on, I'm doing math.
Oh, okay.
12, 16, 21. So they played 21 songs.
Oh, was it really? Okay.
5 of the 21 songs were from the 59 sound.
Yeah, so a good quarter of the show is the 59 sound.
Yeah,
so.
but they also did, like Paul said, they did...
Well, they did Handwritten as well.
Mother Love Bone? What the fuck is
that? Mother Love Bone. That's what it wasn't Alice in Chains.
They did do Alice in Chains. They did Chloe Dancer by Mother
okay.
Love Bone. They did Wood by Alice in Chains.
That's right.
And then they also did Time by Pink Floyd.
Yeah. I could have dealt without those.
No, they played...
Not that they sounded bad.
They played something new. I forget where in the set the something new fell in.
I think it was towards the beginning.
But they played something new. But yeah, I got to hear 5 songs off this album, which I was super stoked about.
I was as well.
When we get into a further segment of the podcast, we'll talk about how I wish I had heard a specific song by them.
Okay.
But all in all, it was a good show. Like even the songs that they played that weren't 59 sound, I enjoy. Like they played American Slang. I enjoy that song.
But yeah, I don't mind American Slang.
I enjoy the song I was listening to the album Handwritten the other day.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad album.
It's not.
But the 59 sound is better.
Yes.
It's a significantly better album.
Yeah, the Handwritten, again, like I said, my general feelings, and we'll get into it in depth, but my general feelings about Gaslight Anthem is that they made one good album and everything else is shit. That was my initial feeling. I don't necessarily feel that that Handwritten is shit. It's actually I started as we were doing this, and because we actually were 2 weeks between podcasts, between recordings, I actually listened to Handwritten. I was like, okay, no, this is better than I thought. It's still not as good as 59 sound though.
I would say honestly one of my top 5 favorite Gaslight Anthem songs is on Handwritten, and that's Biloxi Parish.
Okay. Yeah, I don't even know what song that is because I haven't given.
But it's got good. It's got Biloxi Parish. It's got Too Much Blood. It's got Mulholland Drive. It's got Here Comes My Man. It's got 45, and it's got Handwritten.
45 is a decent.
It's not. And they played 45 the other night. It's not a terrible album. It's just that this album is better.
Yeah. So what factoids do we got about the 59 sound there?
So the album was released on Side One Dummy, August 19, 2008.
Side One Dummy is also the label that put out most of Flogging Molly's stuff. Frank Turner's early stuff. I don't know if Frank Turner's still on Side One Dummy. Skinny Lister was on Side One Dummy. There's a bunch of like bands who are like that, like almost like folk punky type of stuff,
which this kind of I think falls nicely into. The album was recorded at Sage and Sound Studio and Mad Dog Studios in Los Angeles, I believe they are, and produced by Ted Hutt, who has produced Flogging Molly, Dropkick Murphys, Mighty Mighty Boss Stones, Bouncing Souls, and produced one of Brian Fallon's solo albums called Sleepwalker.
Yep.
Sleepwalkers, excuse me. When the album came out, eMusic named it the best album of 2008. NME named it 47th greatest album of the year 2008. Rolling Stone named the 59 Sound song as number 62 out of 100 of the 62 100 greatest songs of 2008.
Okay.
And then in 2018 they kind of did not a anniversary edition, but they put out they refer to it as 59 Sound Sessions, which was early demo versions of everything on the album, which is fun. Have you ever listened to the Sessions album?
I think I listened to it once or twice. Yeah,
it's interesting to see like where bits from one song ended up in another. Like if I remember correctly, the little like before Great Expectations.
Okay.
Was in some other song.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I thought that was pretty cool, was to hear like early demo versions basically of that kind of the album. But yeah, I always joke that like I don't listen to things I didn't listen to in high school. And I discovered this album like when I was like 31. And then I realized that the album came out 2 months after I graduated high school.
Okay.
So I was like, that's pretty fucking funny that I don't listen to shit that I didn't listen to in high school, but I'm finding new things that came out the year I graduated high school.
Right. My overall feelings. Are you done with the factoids?
Yeah, I'm done with the factoids.
My overall feelings on this album is like I love this album.
Man.
I could say here's what I will say about this album is that.
I have another factoid to throw in.
Oh, go ahead.
No, continue.
No,
because it plays on what you're saying.
Okay, so this album would have been in my 25 if I hadn't given it to Adam.
I say that was my factoid, that my copy used to be Paul's.
Yeah. So how that happened was, this is on the Internet Record Exchange days. Adam hit me up and was like, "Hey man, can you get Gaslight Anthem on vinyl for me? I'd like to have the 59 Sound on vinyl." And at the time, it was actually it was on back order. So I couldn't get it, and I was like, "Well, who's this for? Is this for you or for someone else?" And he was just like, "It's for me." And I'm like, "Oh, just fucking take it then.
Yeah.
Here, you can have my copy," which is fine. So I actually gave Adam my copy. So if this hadn't been on your 25 and I hadn't given it to you, it would have been on my 25.
And if it wasn't on my 25, it would have been your album that you gifted to somebody.
Exactly. In the pilot, we talked about albums that we gifted to other people to kind of set up, what we're doing here today. So this would have been the album that I gifted to you, but I knew it was on your 25, and but I was really excited that we get to talk about it and whatnot, because this probably is that album in general is probably it's definitely in my top 25 favorite albums of all time. I would think.
On the Taking Back Sunday episode, I said that for a long time, Tell All Your Friends was what I considered my favorite album. I consider 59 Sound my favorite album now.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. I think I just happened to get it at the right time in my life, that it just clicked.
Yep.
Something about it resonated, and something about it I've said before, like when I listen to this album, it makes me wish that I made music for a living. It makes me wish that I was in a band.
Yeah. No, I hear it. This is also one of those albums that kind of hit me at the right time in my life. I first heard, and it was Great Expectations. I was just like, when I was working in Spectacast at in the movie industry, when I was a trafficker, not of drugs, because I would have made a lot more money,
or sex.
It was movies that nobody wanted to see. When I was doing that, I would like put on Spotify and just, and honestly at the time I was listening to Frank Turner and Tim Barry and stuff like that. So I I would just put on like Frank Turner radio, and like it would play like other stuff, and Great Expectations kept coming in. I'm like, oh dude, what is this fucking album? So the song, and I thought just like, this is a really good song. So I went back and I started like, I listened to the whole album it was on, and again, it was like kind of like, write music at the right time for like the soundtrack of what was going on in my life at that time. And the lyrics spoke to me, and the music was good and whatnot. And I was just like, cool, I really like this fucking album. Let me check out their other stuff. And fucking hated it. Absolutely hated the rest of their stuff. Although I did hear some of Brian Fallon's solo stuff. I was like, okay, this is better, but like the rest is like this other shit is just crap. But like I said, Handwritten has grown on me. The album Handwritten. Might have to go back and listen to it again a little bit more. But a couple of the songs on it I really liked. But like this was just a fucking solid fucking album, like straight through.
I don't remember how, but I just remember hearing the 59 sound one day out of the blue, and right off the bat, just the first line of the song hooked me. What song they're gonna play when you go? I hope it's something quiet and minor and peaceful and slow. Yeah, I really fucking loved that lyric, and it kind of just clicked with me. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna check out the rest of this album, and then fell in love with the album. And then I remember seeing Paul.
I'm sorry, dude. I don't mean to cut you off, but like, so I had Sean from the Unholy Four up here over the weekend. And we had the barbecue in the Yacht Soul Record Garage, and I'm finding that he left me little notes on like different things here. Like I got my bin over there that I've like listed as like, Paul's like whatever this stuff, and he put a note on there, and sex toys, and and the thing is like Katie's stuff, but then but someone put in butt, so now it says Katie's butt stuff. And I'm trying to read. I'm looking over on the Potter's Pub refrigerator, which I have like a sticker when I wrote something on when I thought I was going to be like opening up to the public here, and I can't read that, but I'm just seeing something about
it says Rando Binser Dungeon or something dungeon.
Rando Binger, yeah. So I'm sorry, so I'm just like laughing at these little notes. I'll have to see what they are and see if I can find them all, and maybe I'll do a collage on the Instagram. So, but anyway, go on. I'm sorry.
So I started listening to the album, fell in love with it. It became like almost like probably once the first time I listened to the album, for probably about a week after that, like every time I was in the car, I was putting that album on. Yeah. And then I remember seeing Paul at a bar down by me called Crafty's. Paul was playing a solo show, and he started playing Great Expectations. And it was one of those things where it was like, oh shit, like I didn't know Paul knew or like liked music enough that I liked that he would actually, take the time to learn
that's
something.
The second time I've done that.
That's what I mean. That's yeah. The first time I talked about it, first time was Bright Eyes, and then the second time was Gaslight Anthem.
I am a well-rounded individual, sir. I will play anything. I'll play Gaslight Anthem, and then I'll play Jimmy fucking Buffett. You know what I mean? That's what I do.
So I just kind of always, once I found the album, it like Paul said, it hit me at the right time. Lyrics resonated, the music's good.
Are you ready for another one?
I am. I'll say, let me try one of your ones that are.
One of these that are
while you're trying to find me your worst ones. I told Paul, I've brought up Hard Times News before on the show. Hard Times News has had some funny things about Gaslight Anthem. One of the top article on Gaslight Anthem on Hard Times News is I'll probably be the only guy with American traditional tattoos wearing Doc's in a jean jacket at the Gaslight Anthem show tonight. There was a lot of Doc Martens. There was a couple jean jackets in the crowd the other night.
Including Brian Fallon's oversized tan jean jacket.
Yeah.
So think I'm not trying to body shame the guy, but I think Tom was right when he said, I didn't know John Poplar was singing for the fucking Gaslight Anthem now. I don't think he was wrong. So.
We have the Gaslight Anthem tour delayed until band figures out how to load gear into a 57 Thunderbird.
Oh, God.
And then my personal favorite is it's just a picture of Brian Fallon like standing next to a trash can with a flashlight shining on him. And the person holding the flashlight is Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, God.
So it just says Bruce Springsteen catches Brian Fallon in garbage cans again.
That's great.
That's fucking funny.
Yep. So I am drinking here. I played yesterday, as a matter of fact, at the Bucks County Brewery. or Bucks County Brewing, however they actually have it. Bucks County Brewery is actually out in Pipersville.
Smells good.
And I have the Tiger Eye Amber Ale in the can here, which has a really cool fucking design on it. I'm actually in talks with working with Bucks County Brewing on some kind of like crossover vinyl and beer stuff. So talked very, very briefly with one of the co-owner, Glenn, yesterday about maybe starting to put some stuff forward in the fall. So keep an eye out for that. But I am drinking one of their beers here now. I have not tried this one, so I'm very, very interested in trying that. And Adam, I don't know, do you want to talk about that beer? Do you want to actually name what it is? What I consider one of the worst beers ever made?
I mean, as long as you're fine with that.
I don't fucking care.
I am drinking Rusty Rail Brewing's Fog Monster, and this one specifically. Now that I'm figuring this out, there's multiple different.
There are.
This is the Mixed Berry Creamsicle Hazy IPA.
Yes.
When you scan it though, it pops up as the Orange Creamsicle IPA. So now I have to find the fucking Mixed Berry one.
Wasn't that it?
No, it's pomegranate.
Oh, it's pomegranate. Okay.
Yeah, there's all kinds of fucking shit. There's strawberry. There's banana. There's pomegranate, there's mixed berry.
Oh, you'll be trying the banana too. Yeah. Don't worry, I got the banana for you to try.
I'm gonna give up on looking for it for now. But it smells good at least.
It does smell good. It smells good, but now taste it, and it's you will find Adam's tasting it, and he's making a face. He's like, "What the fuck is that?" Yeah.
No, it tastes like something that I've had before.
Disgusting.
No, it's
Puke?
not. It's not awful.
So what I actually think it tastes like is, remember a few episodes back you were talking about how you were at work and you weren't feeling well and you puked up that monster and it was like a big like red. That's what I imagine that puke must have tasted like.
No, this actually isn't. It's not spectacular.
It's not good.
No, it's not spectacular. But it's not. I wouldn't. I've had worse beer than this.
Okay. All right.
I've had way worse beer.
I mean, considering I'm the person who likes beer that looks like piss, and I'm saying it's pretty bad looking, pretty bad tasting.
Yeah, I can't figure out. It kind of tastes like remember Starburst had the berries and cream flavors?
Oh no, I don't.
Oh yeah, that's what it kind of tastes like, dude.
Okay.
It tastes like berries and cream Starburst.
Okay. I'm trying to find this one.
I don't mind it. It's not bad.
Okay. All right.
I couldn't sit down and drink like a bunch of them like I could the Ritas.
Okay.
But it's not awful.
Yeah,
I could have one or two of them.
No, I do agree with you. It is not it is not like the Rita. Ritas is like a whole different thing, because the mango on the Ritas is like it's subtle.
Yeah.
It's there and it's constant, but it's a subtle constant. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense whatsoever. And Bucks County Brewery does not have this one on Untapped, so I will have to go back and check that in too later. But this one here, this Tiger Eye, which I think they only have available in the 16-ounce cans at the brewery right now, is very nice. It's it's an amber ale, and it is every bit of an amber ale. It's actually really, really good, really drinkable. It's smooth, it's light, a little caramely. But get a little hints, little bit of hints of like some coffee on that as well. But it's good. It's very good. I would definitely recommend that. But back to the album we're here to talk about.
Yes.
Which is the Gaslight Anthem 59 Sound.
That
I have a shirt. I bought a shirt from the show, so I am wearing that. I am a fanboy, so I will do that.
It's all right, as long you didn't put the shirt on though.
At the show? No, you don't do that.
That's something that I've always been. Me and Zach have always had a theory where it's okay to. Hey, it's been 8 years since I started using Untapped.
Oh well, look at you!
Happy birthday to me!
Happy birthday!
Me and Zach have always talked about like it's okay to wear a band's T-shirt to the concert.
Okay.
Provided that like Zach and I had talked about, we saw Taking Back Sunday on the 10th anniversary tour of Tell All Your Friends. Mm-hmm. Zach still owned a Taking Back Sunday, like one of like the first Taking Back Sunday t-shirts to come out. So if you're wearing like one of the t-shirts that first came out, and you could tell that it like you like. And it was you could tell that the shirt was road worn. Like if you're just like if you went out and bought the newest Take It Back Sunday shirt and wore it to the concert, like
it's a little weird.
Teach his own. But like you're showing that you've been around
here's the goofy thing about that, which I like overall. Like I generally don't wear the T-shirt of the band I'm going to see see them. I just don't generally do it. It honestly like there are some Birmingham 6 T-shirts out there, and sometimes like if I'm playing somewhere and I see someone wearing them, I feel a little weird about it for some reason. I don't know why. I'm just like, oh, thank you for the money, but like really, you're like, we're not that good. But I do appreciate people wearing it and whatnot. But so like I'm not that person who wears like T-shirts as a thing, but I don't really care if people do. You know what I mean?
No, neither do I. I'm not gonna like sit there and like
no, there is a general rule where you
tar and feather somebody for wearing fucking.
But this is what I'm getting to. There is a general rule where you don't wear the T-shirt of the band you're going to see when you're going to see the band. I think there was a whole scene in it with in PCU, that movie. Did you ever see PCU with Jeremy Piven and John Farva and whatnot?
No.
It's basically they tried to make an Animal House for like the 1990s. You know what I mean? George Clinton's in it. It's actually pretty fucking great. It's a horrible movie, but a good movie at the same time. But it's like one of those horribly good movies,
like Snakes on a Plane.
Which I've never seen, but yes, but basically, yeah, that idea where it's just like, but at any rate, it's funny how it is unacceptable generally to wear the band you're about to see, the T-shirt of the band you're about to see. However, if you go to a sporting event, you're expected to wear that team's colors and the team's jerseys.
I say you go.
Like,
I went to a Flyers game, and I was pissed because I used to have a Flyers hat, and when me and my ex separated, I moved out, and I must have left the hat there. The hat was beat to shit. Like the hat looked like it had been through like a fire. And I was like so I was going to this game. I was like, have you seen that fucking hat like laying around anywhere? I'm like, it used to sit on the there was like a buffet server in the kitchen. It used to sit there, and I used to put like my keys and shit in it.
Right.
I'm like, gee, have you seen that hat around anywhere? And she's like, no. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I'm going to a game, and I have to wear a Flyers hat to the Flyers game. But God forbid you wear a fucking Gaslight Anthem shirt to the Gaslight Anthem shirt.
I know. So I went. It's funny. I went to a Phillies game in the spring. It was Regina's first game. As like at that point a 4-month-old. She doesn't really know the fucking difference anyway between her first game or her 100th game. No. But we took her. It was a day game. But they were playing the Seattle Mariners, and my season 1 at one point moved to the Tacoma, Washington area, and we're living in Tacoma, Washington. And I even went. And if you don't know where Tacoma, Washington is, it's about 45 minutes. South of Seattle. I believe it's south. Yeah. And so when I was out there, two of them, my son Jack and my son Ethan, we went to see the Seattle Mariners play the Boston Red Sox, and I have like a throwback Seattle Mariners hat. So I thought it'd be kind of cool, since the Mariners were coming to Philadelphia this year, to take Jack specifically. You know, me, Katie, her brother, my nephew Nathan, Jack, and Regina. We all went, but like, you know, they said, "Oh, what game do you want to go to?" And I saw that series. I was like, "Oh, we should go see the Seattle Mariners." And we did, but so like I had my Phillies T-shirt on, but I had my Seattle Mariners hat on.
Nice.
So today I'm wearing a Pittsburgh Pirates hat because when Katie was in Pittsburgh and Adam was doing the stuff to the house, I said, "Oh, you should get me a Pirates hat," because she went to see a Pirates game at a PNC Park out there. So that was, you know, so I was like, "Oh yeah, get me a hat," and she's like, "Any kind?" I'm like, "I don't fucking care. Like it's kind of cool. Get a hat of the Pittsburgh Pirates from the stadium that they play in." So that's why I'm wearing my Pittsburgh Pirates hat. But like, I don't.
You're like one of those people who are like, they're like diehard baseball fans that just like want to go see a game at like every stadium.
I am
like,
actually.
You're just like, I just want a hat from every stadium.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things that like Katie and I have talked about doing is hitting. You know what I mean? All the different MLB stadiums. So like, even, you know,
you gotta go to Canada.
So because we'd have to go to Canada. Yeah,
That's how many Canadian teams are there?
It's all a bit. That's what it's all about. There's only one now.
Toronto, right?
Toronto Blue Jays. Yeah, there used to be the Toronto Blue Jays and the Montreal Expos, but the Expos folded and moved to Washington D.C., which hence brings us the Washington Nationals. There you go. And I've actually seen a game at the National Stadium, and so I'll just get into it. I've seen besides the Vet, which is what I grew up in, Veterans Stadium here in Philadelphia. I've seen Citizens Bank Park, the Phillies, obviously there many times. But I've also been to the field where the Nationals play. I've been to Wrigley, which is where we talked about before, where I almost hooked up with Katie Holmes. Yeah. It came real close. I'm like pretty sure it was going to happen. But I had to be like, listen, Katie, I'm just not here right now. It's really how it went down.
I'm just here to watch baseball.
I just want to watch baseball. I don't just get that ass out of my face.
I'm not emotionally available. I'm emotionally available for baseball.
Exactly. I'm trying to watch, you know what I mean, Jim Thome here, and not you. No. So that's really how it went down.
It's understandable.
Yeah. And I've also been to I believe it's Safeco Field, or at least I think that's what it was when I went to see him. We got to see the Mariners play the Red Sox there, and that was pretty cool. And, so, but I will say this about that stadium. I don't know why we're getting to baseball, because we're not a baseball podcast. But so love Chicken Pete's overall. You know what I mean? It's a Philadelphia staple. Chicken Pete's down at the stadium, crab fries, shit like that, right? So I won't eat them at the stadium anymore after I was at Seattle because fuck it, because they charge like $15 for this thing of like fucking crab fries that are usually fucking cold, and the American cheese is almost solid by the time you get to it.
Yeah.
And but we're at in Seattle, and I look down, like there's a stand, like we were sitting in the bleachers, and there's a stand like right below us, and it says Old Bay fries $5. Crab fries, $15. Their crab fries were Old Bay fries with fucking
crab meat on
top. Crab meat on them, and I didn't get it. I do wish that I had.
It sounds like I don't know. I don't think I've ever mentioned it on the podcast, but I think I've mentioned it like 6 times today at Paul's house. What?
So Katie just texted me. I do keep my phone in case my wife needs me. And she says, I think our bedroom is directly above the Yattsville Record Garage. Yeah. And she said, I think our room smells like hot dogs.
No. They smell like Snoop's dogs.
Yes, they smell like Snoop's dogs. Actually, let me tell her that real quick. That no, it smells like Snoop's dogs. No, it smells like Snoop's dogs with 2 G's.
Yeah. The Snoop D-O-double-G.
Yes.
I don't know what the fuck I was talking about. This album.
Gaslight. Yes, sorry, we're back to it. Yes. We were saying we were talking about how you can't like wear the T-shirt and whatnot, but you can do it at sporting events. But yeah, go back to it, man. Your feelings, your thoughts.
Like I said, I really fucking love this album, and there's something like I talked about with doing something with Paul when we only each picked 25 records. Mm-hmm. There's 52 weeks in a year, so we only have 50 weeks worth of episodes. So I talked to Paul about what I think we should do is when we get down towards the end of it, buy an album that would have been on our 25 for season 1 if we owned it, and have those be the last 2 episodes of the year. For some reason, when I listen to this band, it makes me want to be in a band. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, I want to make a band that's the Gaslight Anthem, and that other band, the band that I talked to you about wanting to be, that's going to be the album that I'm going to buy. I'm not going to tell you.
I don't remember what album. No.
I'm going to write it down. I'm going to write it down.
No, don't write it down.
But yeah, for some reason, for some reason, that's in my head. The band that I want to do. But yeah, the album's fucking catchy. It's catchy. At points, it's fucking dancey. Like
yes. So it is a solid lyrics, solid music. One of the things that honestly hits me about this album, and you know, I do it all the time with Birmingham 6 when we're playing, like Birmingham 6, if we're doing a pub show, which is, you know, say we're playing at a bar for a 4-hour time slot, we just get up and we're like, okay, play this song next. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if we're in a festival setting where we're playing like a half hour, 45 minutes, sometimes an hour and a half, you know, we're going straight through. We will make up like a set list, and generally I'm the one who makes up the set list.
Yeah.
I do ask the band for input. Sometimes I don't like their input, but I still go. But which is actually funny because a lot of times, especially in those pub shows, we sit there and I'll turn specifically to Brian, our drummer, and I'll be like, all right, what do you want to play? And he'll be like, this. I'm like, no. I'll be like, well, this. I'm like, no. So he actually
you turn to Joe and he's like, let's just do like 20 minutes of freeform jazz.
Yeah, right. But he's actually gotten to the point where I turn, I'm like, all right, what are we gonna play? And he just starts listing songs, and I don't say anything until I hear something. Or I'm like, all right, cool, let's do it. Yeah. But at any rate, so when we do these shows, I make the set list, and there is a lot that goes into making a set list for a show, and
I feel like it's almost the same as making a mixtape for a girl
to an extent. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
It really is. And there's peaks and valleys, and as a musician, you have to keep in mind the different keys, because if you do too much, and it's actually a proven thing that if you do too much in one key, people get bored. Your ears get bored, and then people tend to tune out. So you got to mix that up, and you mix up the speeds, and you know what I mean. With us, because we do original songs, but then we also do like traditional songs, and then we'll do some like modern Irish music as well. I try to break up the set list in that way as well. So there's a lot that goes into it, and a bit of a thought process. This album feels like a set list for a show. It feels like the way they put this together is that they have these 12 songs, and they said, we're gonna play this show, and here's this is the order we're gonna play them in, and they put it on the album that way, to the point where you're 6 songs deep before you even realize you're 6 songs deep into the album, which is great, which is amazing.
It's funny that you say that this album sounds like plays like a set list. Mm-hmm. They closed the show that we saw with the song that closes this album.
Yep. So, but like I said, and I honestly, I would have been, when we saw them, they played it in the middle of the show, and they did play it at the perfect time. So there, like I said, there is something to a set list. But I would have been just as happy if they opened with Great Expectations.
Yeah.
I forget what they opened with, but I think it was something off the 59 sound, if I recall.
I'll tell you in a second.
Nope. They kind of played Great Expectations at the right time, but that's a solid opener to an album, because you had
they opened with the Queen of Lower Chelsea.
Oh.
Which I don't know what the fuck that's from. And then they
because that was the slow thing they did. That's right. I didn't count that. I didn't count that as an opener. That was stupid.
They opened with 45. They opened with 45.
Yes, right.
And
which
then
is
went
good.
into Old White Lincoln.
Yes, yeah. And 45 is a good. Yeah, that's actually a pretty solid song off of Handwritten. Yeah. So I didn't even count the first song. Actually, I've totally forgot about it, because I'm like, dude, is this how tonight's gonna go? Although I will say it was pretty cool, because they were playing. Last Thursday night was the day after it was announced that Tina Turner had passed, and when they came out, they had You Better Be Good to Me playing as their walkout music, which I definitely caught the significance of it and thought that was. But I don't know if everybody did, but I was like, oh, fucking good for you guys, good for you guys. Throwing it back to Tina.
I remember you saying I didn't realize that Tina Turner had passed, and I remember you saying, oh, Tina Turner, nice, and I'm like, yeah, cool, Paul. Sweet, Tina Turner. And then I woke up the next morning, and I was just scrolling through my phone. I was like, oh, that's why you fucking pointed out, because she died.
Exactly. It was the day before, and I think this.
Hold that thought.
What are we holding?
Hold that thought.
Oh fuck! Wait a minute.
Hold that thought.
Oh yes.
Hold that thought.
No, you got to do the banana one. You got to do the banana one, because it's the other horrible beer.
Tina Turner.
Thank you. I almost forgot. Rest in peace, Tina. Yeah, right.
Nope.
It's horrible.
I'm all about that.
You're all about that, dude. I think there's 2 more in the.
Dude, I'm about that in a big bad way.
Really? Oh my god. Oh.
Yeah, it's fucking. I mean, like I said, the other one. I'm not gonna sit down and drink a whole 6-pack of them, but I could chill with 1 or 2 of these. This is fucking delicious.
Yeah, no, I don't.
I fucking like this.
I don't fucking like it at all.
It's better than the mixed berry.
No, that's for okay. I'll give it that. It's better than the mixed berry, but I think it's absolutely.
I gave
disgusting.
the mixed berry a 2.75.
Oh, you found it
on Untapped? Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna give this a 3.5. I enjoy this, dude.
No, I wouldn't. I think I gave both of them 3s just to be nice. I didn't want to you know what I mean.
Nice
but
to Rusty Rail.
To be nice to Rusty Rail on Untapped, I gave them 3s, but on this podcast, I'm like, these are the worst beers I've ever drank in my entire life, and I've drinking some pretty bad beers.
And just in case, this is another fog monster, but this one is banana creamsicle.
Yeah.
And yeah, I dig the banana creamsicle, dude.
Yeah, this is another one of those albums too. It's like it's a complete album, as I've said. Like, like no song on that album doesn't fit on the album. Like, it doesn't feel like it's all meat, no filler.
Yeah.
It's a solid album.
Which is why when we get to like our our top 3 and our bottom one was really fucking hard for me on this one.
What's funny is actually, even though I say that it's all meat and no filler, the bottom one was not hard for me. So when we get to that, it'll be interesting to see what your bottom one ended up being and what mine is.
Only 300 people have ever checked this beer in.
Wow.
Only 47 had checked in the berry one.
Okay, there you go. But I can see why, because only 47 people probably wanted to drink it or felt nice enough to be like, yeah, let me check that in, because everybody else is like, this fucking sucks.
It's like people listening to our podcast are like, oh, you made a podcast?
Oh,
okay,
so
we'll
cute.
listen.
Yeah.
You made a beer? All right, we'll drink it.
Exactly. I gave my friend Tom, who we went to a concert with the other night. I actually go way back with Tom, and finally he's like, because he met you as well. I'm like, yeah, my brother's on the podcast with me. And he comes back from taking a piss. He's like, yeah, I subscribed to your podcast while I was taking a piss. Yeah, I'll get around to it. I don't really listen to podcasts. I'm like, oh, well, thanks, buddy. Thanks.
Which made me laugh because Trisha responded, was like, how many hands do you have?
Exactly. But which actually, back to that, if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe onto whatever format you listen to. We talked about it like early on, how we were surprised at how we were jumping up, and we actually on YouTube have 41 subscribers now. It's been at 41 for the last few weeks, and that's okay. Like, I fucking love all 41 of you.
The fact that there's one subscriber that's not me, Paul, or Katie.
Yes, is great. But yeah, it's been kind of like stuck there at 41 for a while, and that's fine. But I appreciate everybody who subscribes, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, please, on whatever format you listen to.
We're
your
not
podcast.
saying you have to fucking watch us talk.
Yes. Actually, well, okay.
We're not that good to look at.
So here's how this goes. We are, like I said, this is not only is this we did make it very clear this is an advertisement for the Ottsville Record Garage, which this album is actually listed on OttsvilleRecordGarage.com, and I think, excuse me, Snoop, I even have a copy of this in-house right now. So
I do.
I do. So of the time that you are watching this, or we are recording this, I have a brand new factory sealed copy of the Gaslight Anthem 59 Sound in-house right now. So if you went onto Ottsville Record Garage right now, clicked on the link that says the Country Hipster Podcast, and then the first link on that page will say albums we've talked about on the Country Hipster Podcast. The first thing that'll be in that list of albums will be Gaslight Anthem, the 59 Sound. And this album is available for purchase right now. So if you don't have a copy of this fucking amazing album, you can go buy it from the OttsvilleRecordGarage.com.
Speaking of vinyls.
Wait, before that. So back to what I was saying. You don't have to watch the whole podcast. But for our purposes, watch 60 seconds. If you watch or listen to 60 seconds of the podcast, it counts as a view and a listen, and that helps to monetize our podcast here.
It was very... When Paul and I were at the concert the other night, it was very... It makes me feel good going to a show and being able to walk over to the merch table and buy a vinyl.
Yeah, yes. Yep.
They had a copy of the 59 Sound on vinyl. They had American Slang on vinyl, and they also had the 59 Sessions on vinyl. Almost bought the 59 Sessions on vinyl.
Okay.
But I didn't want to buy a vinyl in front of Paul, not buying it from Paul.
You could have. I don't fucking care about that.
But I just feel like I'm cheating on you.
Honestly, one of the reasons I didn't buy vinyl was because
you didn't have to fucking deal with it?
No.
Oh, because that's why I didn't buy it, because I didn't want to have to deal with it for the rest of the night.
No, I've done it. I buy it. I buy vinyl at shows all the time, and I hate going to the merch stand when it's super fucking busy. But the main reason I didn't even buy any vinyl when I was there from any of the bands that were playing was because Katie specifically told me don't go crazy buying t-shirts and shit.
Speaking of the other bands you were playing, just to give a shout out, Oso was the direct opener, and Emily Wolf, it was the opener. The
first supporting act. I was much more impressed with Emily Wolf.
Yeah.
And Oso was good. They were
yeah,
decent,
they were. Yeah.
But Emily Wolf is an amazing voice, amazing guitar player. She actually even came out. She did Time.
She did Time, and she also did the 59 sound with.
Oh, that's right. She did do the 59 sound with them. Yeah, she got out and played with. She's an amazing guitar player. As a not very good guitar player, I can at least recognize amazing guitar players. So check out Emily Wolf. She was right on. I think she said she's from Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
Sounded great, sang great, played great. So I was yeah. It was overall like
kind of cute.
Yeah, she was kind of cute. Yeah.
So it's like it's the complete package, like Cary Grant.
It's like me.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, no, she was good. The overall, I do like the Wind Creek Event Center. That was the second time I saw a show there. But back to like what we're saying about like buying vinyl at the merch stand, which I do appreciate. We had talked about this when Frank was here for the Smiths episode about like, like I do generally try to do that, especially for some of the smaller supporting bands. Specifically,
I said they also had Oso vinyl.
They did.
They had CDs as well, but they also had one of their albums on vinyl too. Which I always thought was cool.
Yep. But like when Skinny Lister comes to town, like I generally try, like sometimes I'll buy multiple copies of their albums that I don't necessarily need, because a lot of these the smaller bands, the supporting bands, the only way they're getting to the next city is if they sell merchandise, what I mean, or they're borrowing like gas money, what I mean. So they don't have all the same type of luxuries that some of the headlining, the
bigger
bands
names
have,
do,
what I mean. So the other thing that I thought was cool about, so I do try to buy vinyl from the bands in general at the shows. You also get special pressings as well. Like I actually and sometimes I'm a dick about it. So like the one time I bought when I saw Not a Surf, I bought a special tour pressing of a record that I actually had zero intention of listening to. I bought it for like $25 and then turned around 3 days later and flipped it for like $50 on Discogs because I could, And
I mean,
it was
people
it
do
was
that
a
with
cool
everything.
thing.
Like there's always like shit that gets released at like San Diego Comic-Con that's like kind of like the fucking Funko Pops. Right. They always release a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive thing, and then you find it online for like $800 2 days later.
But it's not like Not a Surf needed me to necessarily buy that to to get to the next city. Not a Surf's doing okay.
Not a Surf's gonna be all right.
Not a Surf's a good band. Have you ever heard Not a Surf?
No. I may have and just didn't realize it.
Yeah,
I know the name.
There's the one song you would definitely, because it was like, it's actually called Popular, and it's their most popular song.
Is it that one song from Wicked?
No,
it's
not in Wicked.
I
know you're all about Wicked. No. If it's not in Wicked, you don't fucking know.
If it's not in Wicked and it's not in Hamilton, what's the point?
That's a good point. Why are we not just specifically talking about Wicked and Hamilton?
Can you get the Hamilton soundtrack on vinyl?
Not anymore.
Was it? Could you get like the original Broadway cast on vinyl?
I bought it for Ethan for Christmas one year. Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's like a 3 or 4 disc box set.
I actually wouldn't fucking mind that. That'd be kind of fucking
rad. And it comes with a booklet and whatnot, but it's like literally like a box set. And it has the gold cover with the star, and he's like putting it up. Yeah. So so you could. It's discontinued now. So I'm sure
it's probably expensive as fuck.
Right. Well, it was expensive as fuck when I got it. Even at a wholesale price, it was expensive as fuck. I gave it to them for Christmas that year. I'm sure if I looked it up now, if like that pressing, and it wasn't even an original press, it was a repress. It's probably super fucking like,
I imagine.
One of those expensive records. Yeah. So, but no, overall, man, 59 sound. Great album. I will say the Gaslight Anthem, seeing them live, which was really cool. It kind of put like a different spin on this episode as well, because we did get to see the band live right before we were recording the episode. Less than a week ago, we saw them. So, so that was cool. That was the other thing I said about their show. Like, I actually thought their light show was really fucking cool.
Yeah, I noticed that while we were there. I was like, oh, they're doing it. They're not just like, they're not just kind of having some, like, there's some interactive shit going on.
Yeah, no, there was definitely, and besides it being sunk up to the beat, like they definitely had things that went on at the right time, but they also used like just these cool lights. I was like, oh, this actually looks really cool. I thought they did. I think actually this logo is what was like on the big,
was their backdrop. I think
on the backdrop. And And just the way they used the lights and had them set up, and it was just like, all right, no, they did. It was definitely a complete show. Like I said, the only thing that I would have changed is the covers that they did. I would have been like, yeah, how about you play 3 more songs off of the 59 sound instead of a bunch of fucking. I mean, I like Pink Floyd, but I was never into like the '90s grunge sound. So
I would have,
I saw Alice in Chains, and they were one of the most boring bands I ever saw live. So I didn't really fucking need to see.
I would have been okay with 2 more songs, 2 more songs from the '59 sound. Or honestly, I would have been fine with a handful of songs across various albums. But I don't know why I can't remember. It bugs the shit out of me because I saw a video the one time of them doing a cover of a Springsteen song.
Okay.
And they did a really good fucking job of it.
Okay.
And for the life of me, cannot fucking remember what Springsteen song it was.
Okay.
I know for a fact it wasn't Atlantic City.
All right.
Which is like, I feel like a song that gets
covered
a lot.
Yeah, it probably does.
In fact, the first time I heard Atlantic City was because I saw Mumford & Sons, and Mumford & Sons covered it live.
Okay.
I think they closed with Atlantic City because I saw them in Camden.
Okay, so I saw Frank Turner at the Fillmore in Philly. It was actually his second show ever at the Fillmore, and it was the only time I got to see Frank Turner. And I like it. Like Frank Turner, same thing with Gaslight, Anthem, and like a lot of other bands have stopped doing the stupid encore thing. Like they're like.
In fact, I said to Paul, I'm like, it's that they didn't do an encore. It makes sense. Like, if you don't like Blink-182, but if you ever listen to Blink-182's live album, the Mark, Tom, and Travis show, at one point they talk about, like, he's like, all right, we're going to leave, but just wait, because we're going to be right the fuck back out here in a minute to play another fucking song. Like, it is a very stupid thing.
And it's a stupid tradition. It's a stupid thing. Like, and honestly, I would much rather have a band or an artist fucking put everything out there for an hour and a half, however long their set is, and just fucking leave it all on the floor than have to go back and, pretend that, oh, let me clap loud enough or stomp my feet so you come back. Like, fuck it. And, but,
how loud can we chant one more song?
Exactly. Which honestly, as a musician, especially when I'm doing like the solo stuff where I'm playing like I'm already playing like a 3 or 4 hour set. When people are like, one more song, I'm going to be like, fuck you. That's like me walking into your job and being like,
process one more TPA report.
Exactly. One more TPS report. You know what I mean? Like, why? You know what I mean? No, I'm fucking done. Like, I'm done now. Like, that actually happened to me on my show Sunday. Is I played at a place, and the Horse, where I play fairly regularly, the Horse in Sellersville, and I was playing like 4 to 7, and like this table came in at like 6:45, and they sat down, and and they were into it. I appreciate they were into it, and I was just like, all right, this is my last song, or like, where I just finished up the song or something like that. And they're like, wait, you're done already? Come on, I'm doing a little more. I'm like, nah, man, it's time for me to clock out. And that's how it is. It's like I'm clocking out now.
You
know what I mean?
You and Frank talked about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's crazy. Like in my head, like you always say, you do something that you love and you never work a day in your life.
Right.
Like,
you're still working.
You're still working. It's crazy.
I do love it.
Yeah.
I love that I get to that, especially now. I get to play music and I get to drink beer and I get to do that for 3 or 4 hours, and you know what I mean. It's way better than the last job I've had, or probably any other job besides that. But it's still a job, and at the end of the day, I'm still it's still okay. It's time to clock out now. Like, every now and then, like, depending on the situation, I've had a few situations where I'm like, all right, fine, I'll do one more for you. Sometimes it's usually a case of like, oh, I'm kind of like 5 minutes early anyway. You know what I mean? But usually it's just like, yeah, whatever. But I do appreciate the bands who really don't do encores. So like one of the situations I was saying was, I went to see Frank Turner, and he doesn't do encores, but like what he did was at one point he kind of gave his band a break. Like, he'd already played like probably for an hour straight, right? Mm-hmm. And the rest of the Sleeping Souls, I think is what he calls Frank Turner, Sleeping Souls. They walk off stage, and he pulls out acoustic guitar. He's like, I want to play some more songs for you. And the first song he did was Thunder Road by Bruce Springsteen. Nice. And did a fucking phenomenal version of it. And they went on to play like 3 or 4 other acoustic songs, and then the band came on and probably did another 35 minutes, but like when they were done, they were done, and I appreciate that. I appreciate bands who do that. Who are just like, all right, cool, like I'm just gonna fucking leave it all out there, and that's what Gaslight did. And Tim Barry has like a fucking great. I've seen Tim Barry twice, and I love his line when he's done. He's like, all right, DJ, play some dance music, and that's it. You know what I mean? And then like something usually comes on, something cool. It's like, all right, cool.
Something that I realized when we were at the concert. So we're getting old, Paul.
Fuck yeah, we are.
It's like when I was when this album came out and I was going to shows, I was in the middle of the pit. I was fucking shoving people left and right. Yep. I was helping people. I was fucking boosting people up the crowd surfing shit. This show, like, me and Paul were kind of towards the back of the room. Like, we were in a crowd, but, like, not in a crowd that was kind of shoving around and stuff. And honestly, even the crowd in front of us didn't really look like they were shoving around all that much.
There was not a whole lot. There was a little bit of, like, moshing and dancing, a little up and down, a little pogo going on. But overall, like, I actually... okay, so I am old. You're getting old. I am old. And I don't really... dance anymore. I don't really, like when I went to see the This Is Croydon Fest, I got into the pit and I skanked. Oh, by the way, this is also, again, from Bucks County Brewery. This is the Wood Ape Oatmeal Stout. It's a 6% stout. I haven't tried it yet, but it's cool fucking label, cool ape on it. Once again.
What was the one? Didn't I have?
That was the Cinemonster that we had.
That's
that
what
was
it
like
was.
a 10%.
Yeah, Cinemonster. I knew.
Which was good.
I'm like, didn't you give me something with fucking Bigfoot on it?
That's why I just checked this real quick. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, oh, okay, it's always 6%. I will drink this now as we're getting like, we're heading towards wrapping up.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, I could still drink this and be functional tomorrow. So I'm very interested. Again, Bucks County Brewery in Pipersville. I'm trying to do a little crossover stuff between Ottsville Record Garage and the Country Hipster Podcast and Bucks County Brewery, which is like 10 minutes from my house, which is pretty fucking amazing. So check out their stuff. If you're up in Bucks County, check out the Bucks County Brewery. Yeah, I'm old. And I realize this, and I'm okay with it. And I was the guy who, like, did we talk about it on the podcast when I went to see Guar and I was like, didn't want to get into the meat grinder? Okay, so we did talk about it. So, like, but like that was me, and I was always getting put up, and I was always like stage diving and all this kind of shit. And I didn't care if people moved and I hit the fucking ground. I got right back up, and like I would go see the Dead Milkmen back at the Trocadero, and I was all fucking about it and like dancing around and all that kind of shit. And I've been kicked and I've been punched and I've been thrown down. I broke my nose in my very first pit ever, and it was like fucking glorious. But now I am, at the time you will be viewing this, it will be past my birthday, so I will be officially 47 years old, and I'm not as young as I used to be. So I tend to hang towards the back, although I will say that when Katie and I, it was like our second date, we went to see Skinny Lister and the Interrupters, and I don't know if I was trying to impress her, or if I was just really happy or what, but I was straight in the pit. I was straight going at it, and cool fucking story is I turned to this guy who's like bigger guy, like he's definitely younger. I'm like, yo buddy, yo. He's like, what's up? I'm like, I gotta go up. And Katie's like, what? I'm like, here, hold my glasses, and he's like, wait, really? I'm like, yeah, man. He's like, okay. I'm like, and I could tell he never done. I'm like, put your hands like this. And then when I put my foot in, you just fucking throw me. And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah. so he does that. I get him. He's like, all right. He just fucking throws me. I'm going. I'm fucking like,
I just imagine this dude just like, ah.
Yeah, I know. You're fucking 1,000 pounds. What are you doing? But so, that's nice.
That's one thing. I've never crowd surfed before.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. I suggest it before you get too old.
Yeah.
So he throws me up, I'm crowd surfing, and they just push you up to the front, and then the fucking security guards grab you and pull you over the barrier. Fucking coolest thing fucking happened now. So
the security guard is a guy I went to high school with.
No, well, I mean that's completely possible, but it wasn't. So Amy from the Interrupters, what she was doing it through the show. She was coming down and going through the thing and come up the other side of the stage, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So right as they pull me over, she's coming by and stops and like taps me on like the shoulder, like,
oh nice,
like it was almost like, good for you, old man, good for you. And then I was like, thank you, you're doing great. And I gave her a pat on the back. So that was
good job, Grandpa.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much like how it went. So that, and like This Is Croydon Fest, I got in the pit for a little bit for Fishbone, but a ska pit is completely different than like a
ska
like
pit.
punk
A ska pit,
or,
you're not going to get nose broken.
Exactly. So
you're not gonna get thrown into the meat grinder.
But yeah, man, no, I am at that point where like when we went to see Katie and I went to see Flog Molly back in February. I've been in the pits for Flog Molly, you know what I mean? But I stood in the back and I tried to get a spot like center and just kind of try to just like look at it all and take it all in and enjoy the music for what it is. I might dance a little bit in my little spot, but I'm probably not getting in the pit anymore, man.
Just imagine you and Katie just off by yourself, and you're just in the background. Like,
that's exactly kind of how it goes. And then she keeps like taking steps away from me. I'm like, Where are you going? Where are you going? What, am I embarrassed?
The acoustics over here are better.
Yeah, this oatmeal stout's nice. This is like, you know, sometimes you get
I enjoy an oatmeal stout.
You get stouts that are just like that bitter biting. This is not.
But I enjoy that bitter biting.
I enjoy the bitter biting as well, depending on the stout. But try this real quick. This is just a really smooth. It's like, it's more porterish the way that it drinks. Oh, you got the
fucking mango.
Yeah, I got the mango. Got to get the mango mouth. Adam has mango mouth.
The weirdest fucking. You got that mango mouth.
The mango mouth. That's gonna be your new.
It is really good. It's really smooth.
It is. It's really smooth. And there's another one in there for you. So, but yeah. So overall, yes, I am old, and I'm gonna hang out at the back of the pit, and that's fine. I will say, I probably dance more physically when I'm playing a festival set with the band than I do going to see a show.
Before we saw the Gaslight Anthem 4 days ago, whatever the hell it was. The last concert I went to was, I think, 2000. I'll tell you in 2 seconds when I find the video on my phone. My brother, our other brother Zach, and or as we say on Summer Movie Club, friend of the podcast, Zach.
Okay.
And I went to see, we went to see Taking Back Sunday, December 11th, 2021.
Okay.
So before Gaslight Anthem, the last show I went to was in 2021.
Okay.
We saw Taking Back Sunday at the Starland Ballroom for their holiday show.
Oh, right. Yeah, you were talking about that. That was cool.
And we were kind of in the back. We were in the middle area. We weren't in the pit. We weren't standing against the wall. We were kind of in the middle. But I was saying to Zach at that show, I'm like, it's kind of funny, because before that, I couldn't even tell you the last fucking concert that I went to.
Well, I think that happens when you know, because at that point you're like late 20s, having 2 young kids. You know, your priorities change.
I couldn't tell you the last concert that I didn't go to. The last concert that I went to that I wanted to go to. I've taken my daughter to a couple concerts, but we had seats for that.
Yes.
But I said to him,
"Oh, you know what's fucking great about that? You don't have to worry about an obstructive view if you take Haley to a show.
It's 100%.
You don't have to. You'd be like,
100%.
Yeah, I'm gonna pay less money for the obstructive view because I'm gonna fucking pick those seats because I don't fucking want to see this band, and it's not like she can see it, so it's fucking perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing.
It's perfect.
Yes. Benefits to having a blind child.
Exactly. But yeah, I said to Zach, I'm like, I think it's funny that when we went to see Taking Back Sunday for their 10-year anniversary Tell Your Friends tour, we were up at the bar for the opening acts, which is something I never did. I mean, I was underage, but it's something in my head, you got there as early as possible. You got as close to the stage as possible. Yeah. You stood there and fucking grudged through the fucking opening acts to see be as close to the gate as you could for the headliner.
Yeah.
It was crazy to see just the evolution of these people that I was probably at the same fucking concert with 10 years ago were going crazy and jumping all over the place, and now we're all just kind of standing in the middle area with a beer.
Yeah,
it's weird being able to watch an entire show
drinking a beer, just being honestly being a little comfortable. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, I get it. Absolutely, man. But I am old, so you're getting old. I am old. And that's okay because, we've talked about that, how music today is not necessarily for us. Shows today aren't necessarily for us. And the bands that we do go see, it's kind of like a nostalgia thing. They're not doing the same shit they used to, what I mean?
The bands that I feel the bands that I'm going to see, I just saw I was just talking to Paul about taking my daughter to see a show in October. where one of her favorite bands is one of the opening acts. I was looking up tickets and I was searching the venue. The band Thrice is doing their 20th anniversary tour of the album Artist in the Ambulance, which is fucking ridiculous.
That's been 20 years for you.
Because I remember that, like, I remember that album coming out. Like, I don't know, I forget, we just talked about it on the podcast, but the 20th anniversary of Tell All Your Friends is most likely coming up soon.
Yep.
So yeah, like we're going to shows that they're doing.
Excuse me.
See, but that's the thing I like. Like we talked about, the show that the Gaslight Anthem show we would have loved to have seen was the last time they came around, when they literally played the entire 59 sound album, which would have been fucking great.
Yep. Yeah. So, all right. So
speaking of the 59 sound album, Paul, what's your favorite songs? Top 3.
Oh no, we got to get to something before that.
Oh,
because our feelings about the 59 sound are not nearly as important.
We are mere peasants.
We are peasants
in the world of musical critique, but the true ruler of the land
is Regina. My daughter Regina. We have
Regina first. I'm sorry.
Yes, we have the Regina factor. Which actually it's funny because the Regina factor became a thing because of Zach and in his drunken mind he came up with a really good idea right before he fell asleep. Actually, he probably fell asleep. I have to go back. He probably fell asleep and woke up. It was kind of like that scene from Semi-Pro. He's like, I met my mom in heaven. I met my mom, and she told me
about the alley-oop.
She told me about the alley-oop, and we have to talk about the Regina factor. By the way, Zach's mom is not dead. My stepmom
is my mom,
and she is alive and well. We are very happy about that. My birth mother is unfortunately not with us anymore. Regina, yes. But
Mama Regina. Let's start.
Mama Regina.
Let's start referring to your mom as Mama Regina.
Mom Regina. Because that's what the kids. Yeah, Mama Regina. But
although it's funny because I always grew up referring to her as Aunt Regina.
Yeah, that works too. Yeah, you go with that. But okay, so my daughter Regina, who is 6 months old at this point, her feelings of the album are what matters the most. And on the Regina factor of this, so I did play this for her actually a few times, right? And it is hard.
You're trying to it's like a stage parent trying to force to relive vicariously.
Yes.
You're just like, she didn't like it at first. You're like, no, you fucking listen to it.
No, actually, no. That's not even the thing. It just happened that I happened to play it for. Yeah. So the fact that I was able to play it for her a couple times shows that she actually does like it, which she does. And here was the like factor on this.
She can live.
Yeah, she can live. Here's the like factor of this is that, again, I do this a lot if we're running around somewhere or food shop, and sometimes I just take her for fucking rides. I'm like, fuck it, let's go for a ride, and we'll drive around Upper Bucks County. And I put on the album. The last time I put it on for her, I put the album on for her. Generally, this child falls asleep by the time we hit the end of my driveway. We've talked about this. But she was up, which was fine, and we're driving, and she was up and she was listening. Like this kid, no lie, she loves music and she is very expressive to music, and definitely you could tell when she's tuned into something.
Yeah.
And so we were driving and she was up and she kind of was staring off and listening to it and was not necessarily reacting, which you kind of say is well, maybe that's indifferent, but it's not, because she the album she doesn't like, she fucking lets me know she doesn't like it. And until I change it, she's very vocal about it. But she did fall asleep during it, which is normal because we're driving around. But the fact that she sat there and just kind of was you could tell she was actually listening to it, gives you the like. So, this is episode 10.
She's just driving I hope we don't hear Marley's chains we forged in life.
Right, exactly. Yeah, actually. And she's like, God, I don't have to listen to say anything again. Of the 10 albums, this is episode 10. Of the 10 albums, we have 5 likes, 2 dislikes, and 3 indifference from Regina. So 50% of the albums we've done, Regina has liked. So that's a good thing.
I forget, I've been meaning to keep track. I've been keeping more track of the streaks, and not how many of each. How many of yours have we done, and how many of mine have we done?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of yours and 4 of mine.
Okay.
Yep. You were at, it is at 6-4.
Okay.
Actually, let me write that down. 2, 4. Okay, so as you were getting, so we did the Regina factor, and we know that Regina likes this album. You want me to do my top 3 songs first? Okay,
give me your top 3.
My top 3 songs are. I know it's an obvious one, but number 1, flat out number 1, Great Expectations. Mm-hmm. So that's my favorite song on the album. Number 2, Miles Davis and the Cool. Okay, great song, great live song. I was looking forward to seeing that live. Honestly, I was disappointed in the crowd seeing that live because that part was like down, down, down. You know, I'm expecting the crowd to be like, yeah, down, down, and nobody did that except me. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna stop doing this because I'm in the back and no one can see it and nobody else is doing it. So fuck you guys. But no, that was really good. That's my second favorite song on this album. And my third favorite song, which they did not play, which I get, like, if they did an encore, this would have been a perfect song to open the encore with. And I'm okay with them not playing. I would have liked to have seen them play it. But Here's Looking at You Kid is my number 3.
I would put, so, like I said earlier, I used to consider Tell All Your Friends my favorite album. Mm-hmm. I consider this my favorite album now.
Okay.
I consider Here's Looking at You Kid my current favorite song.
Okay. All right.
Just the fucking what is the lyric? Boys will be boys and girls have those eyes that'll cut you to ribbons sometimes. All you can do is wait by the moon and bleed if it's what she says you ought to do.
Yeah.
Like how I said, the opening line to 59 sound got me. When I heard that fucking line, I was like, that's the fucking...
A lot of these songs are about being in an abusive relationship with a girl. So
yeah. But yeah, that fucking... and the other line that really gets me from Here's Looking at You Kid is... I often wait in diners a million nights without her, hoping she won't cancel again tonight. And the waiter served my coffee with a consolation sigh. I fucking love
which actually relates back to Great Expectations.
Yeah,
you know, because he talks about, you know, it burnt down the diner where I always used to find her. You know, so you know, I think of all the, because they do he talks about like 4 or 5 different girls or women. In that Here's Looking at Your Kid, and that verse, which is also the longest about whatever, I think it's Janie. It's about Janie. I think that, like, of all the women he's talking about in that album, I think, and this is my theory, this is theoretical, I don't know, I haven't talked to Brian Fallon ever. It's definitely not recently and not ever. But I think Janie
you almost fucked him on Thursday.
I did almost fuck him on Thursday. I did.
Yeah, I mean, you guys were in the same room. It was statistically your highest chance of fucking him right there.
But then I was like, I don't really like Blues Travelers. So, but Janie, who he talks about like at the verse in length, is probably the real person in that song. Like the actually is probably who that song is about, because it gives the most the longest, biggest, and probably most significant chorus
spends the most time to,
which is probably the same woman he's talking about in Great Expectations.
So yeah, I would go,
or it could be Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah,
could go either way.
Did he date Gwyneth Paltrow?
No, but there was that movie Great Expectations with Gwyneth Paltrow and Ewan McGregor.
I forgot. I host a movie.
Robert De Niro.
I host a movie podcast.
You do. It's pretty.
So yeah, I would put Here's Looking at You Kid at number 1. Like I said, the thing that really got me going on the Gaslight Anthem was that opening fucking line of I hope it's something quiet and minor and peaceful and slow in the 59 sound.
Sorry, Snoop's a little drowned out.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put 59 sound at number 2, and I'm gonna put just like how fucking catchy and how dancey it is. I'm gonna put Old White Lincoln at number 3.
Yeah, it's solid songs, like all solid songs. So least favorite. I'm interested to hear yours.
Least favorite's rough. I might go Casanova, baby.
Okay.
What are you going?
So I'm going with Even Cowgirls Get the Blues.
I have an interesting thing about this, so continue.
But here's what I'll say. But like as I say, Even Cowgirls Get the Blues is my least favorite song on this album. As I said, that it is this album feels like a set list put together for a live show. Where that song comes in this album is the perfect time for that song to come in at the album. But no, that's like if we were seeing this and they were doing this straight through and this was their set list, when they started playing that, I would have been like, I'm gonna go grab another beer or I'm gonna take a piss, and then end with those last 3 songs. So,
you use Spotify. I use Apple Music.
Uh-huh.
Every once in a while there'll be something on Apple Music where it won't. So Apple Music, it's like a subscription, like Spotify. You pay a subscription, you have access to all this fucking music. But every once in a while, there's like 1 or 2 songs where it's like a premium thing.
Yeah. It's just fucking stupid.
I don't think Even Cowgirls Get the Blues was premium, but for some reason, I don't know why, every time I would listen to this album, it would play Casanova Baby, and Casanova Baby would finish, and Meet Me by the River's Edge would start. For some reason, it would constantly skip over Even Cowgirls Get the Blues.
Yeah, Spotify didn't do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which, by the way, this podcast is available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, I say we're also available on Apple Podcasts.
So
I don't know why it would do it, but yeah. So like, for like the one time, and it was weird because I was listening to the album, and it didn't skip Even Cowgirls Get the Blues. And I was like, what the fuck is this song?
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's an Apple thing, I guess. Yeah, whatever. So that brings us to our next segment, and probably the most important segment of the podcast. As Adam said,
I can see Paul's numbers.
You can see my numbers. As Adam said, he has 6 albums to my 4 albums. So, I've always said all along that I think that Adam's albums are going to overall be more valuable than mine, and we are heading towards that direction for our Discogs value. Just a reminder, we just automatically set our condition at very good plus across the board. We don't grade the covers because Adam's cover got water damage.
All mine are fucking water damage.
And that
in fact, about with this album, not only is it water damage, if you take out the liner notes, the card for the
download
free
card.
MP3 download is permanently stuck to the liner notes, so you can't read the lyrics for the back seat.
Yeah, exactly. So, but like we're just doing it based on a very good plus across the board, regardless of who's, the condition or the pressing or anything like that. So what you do have, what I personally bought for myself and ended up giving to you, is a 2012 reissue on 180 gram vinyl. 180 gram vinyl is a thicker vinyl, standard vinyl. I do not recall offhand, but I do have the Google machine.
But you said the 180 grams tend to be a higher quality.
They do. 180 gram is a higher quality. 200 gram.
I've never seen a 200 gram.
Oh, I have a few. 200 grams are nice. So, hold on one second. What is the standard weight of a vinyl record?
And what's the street value of it?
It's about 40 grams, right? So
40 to 180?
So a normal pressing is, well, it says, vinyl records range in weight from 40 to 180 grams. So you'll see, but honestly, I think they're probably more in that 40 to 80 gram area. If you don't know, what a gram is, the way I do it is I think about, okay, if I bought a gram of weed, this is how much it would weigh.
If you don't know what a gram is, it's about $30.
Exactly. So, wait, where are you buying a gram for $30? What kind of fucking shit is that?
I don't buy drugs, dude, so I don't know. What does a gram go for?
It's not much.
What's a gram of regs go for?
It depends. Depends if you're getting a Germantown Brown or you're getting some good shit.
I bought one time
like 10 to like $20, depending on how.
One time I bought a dime of Headies off a kid for like $15.
Okay, all right, that's not bad.
Did I get robbed?
No, probably not.
Okay.
All right, so standard. Even when you get into that 150 grams, because there's a Third Man Music, who is Jack White's music label. They do a lot of stuff on 150 grand. They don't necessarily go to all the way to 180. That's generally when they start to advertise, like, hey, this is 150 grand. Below that, they're not really advertising it. So it's probably like in that.
You're like, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, it's usually at
80.
40 to 80 grams.
Shit?
So that's like especially when you see older represses, especially from like the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, where it seems like the record's really fucking flimsy. It is.
Yeah.
It is really fucking flimsy.
Yeah, there's some in my collection where I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah, like that
Jesus.
a perfect example, the Willie Nelson, right? We talked about it's like an early repress. That's probably like 80 gram, maybe. You know what I mean? Like 40, 60, 80 grams, something like that. So like I said, Third Man does a lot of 150 gram pressings. Everything Mobile Fidelity, at least for their basic, general, Mobile Fidelity sound stuff, is 180 gram vinyl. 200 gram vinyl, there are some special pressings in 200 gram vinyl, but specifically Analog Productions does a bunch of shit that's remastered to 200 gram pressings. Usually what they'll do is they'll do it on a 200 gram, it's 45 RPMs, so the smaller, the quicker the RPM, the better the sound quality. Then the fucking 200 gram vinyl, it's usually on a 2 record set, is fucking amazing. Like when you pay $70, $75, $80 for a record from Analog Productions, you are absolutely 100% getting your money's worth. It's absolutely amazing.
There's a standard 12 inches, usually 33.
33 and a third.
33 and a third, and then you have a 45. 70.
78?
78.
Yeah,
okay.
Nobody wants fucking 78.
No, I say the turntable that's sitting over in the corner.
That could do 78.
It has a 78 setting.
That big console I used to have 78s. This console that we're going to be turning into a dry bar probably has a 78 setting. Like, the older things, that way when like people went from Victrolas to records, they could still play their shit, but they really can't. 78s. That nobody wants 78s. So at any rate, you have there a 212 reissue at 180 gram vinyl. 2012. Sorry, 180 gram vinyl, and it is valued at Very Good Plus at $16.24, upping it to $17, which is a little bit less than the suggested retail of a brand new factory sealed record.
I say they were selling it at the show for $25.
Right, and that would be brand new factory sealed.
Yeah.
And this is a Very Good Plus, so
If you remember, when you were looking up the value, you were having issues. What was the issue you were having?
I wasn't having issues. There were just a lot of different.
Oh, okay. There's just
pressings.
A lot of repressings.
There's the original pressing, and there was like a repress in like 2008, and then there's a 2012, and then there's actually which actually is what I have on the shelf here, is like a 2022 or 2023 reissue as well. Yeah. So like I said, there's just, and that happens like when you're repressing an album or doing a new issue of it or something like that. Like you're looking it up on Discogs, and sometimes there's like a list of like fucking 30 different listings of it, 30 different pressings from all different pressing plants. So, it becomes a thing. So, and the way you figure it out is by the etchings. You look at the etchings and the dead wax or the runoff, and that generally pinpoints it, which, we were sitting there, you were there doing it while, you were there while I was doing it. I was like, oh, okay, there it is. So I did find it, and this was even without the knowledge of when I bought it. I knew when I bought it.
Yeah.
So running totals, as of today, like I said, you have me beat by 2 records as of right now. Your running total is $202. My running total is at $170. So you have me at $32. You've been beat by $32 as of right now, but we still have 40 records to go in season 1.
Speaking of those 40 records, Paul.
Yes.
Would you like to figure out what we're going to cover next?
I would love to figure out what we're covering next. Let's bring out the box of Mike.
If you happen to follow us on the Instagram, which if you don't, you should follow us on Instagram.
Country Hipster Podcast.
Country Hipster Podcast on Instagram. Paul posted a picture of our brother Mike holding the box of Mike this weekend.
Yes, we did. Is it my pick? Am I digging deep? I think I am. I think you did pick this out because you were really excited to show me it. Yes, you picked out last week.
I don't remember.
Yes, you did.
We should start making note of this.
It doesn't really matter. But no, you do, because if we have guests, it's going to get all weird.
Yeah.
All right, so right now you were on a 2-record streak.
Yes.
All right.
I think the most either of us have had is a 2-record streak.
Yes, you thought you had the hat trick, but you forgot about the specials episode.
I remembered that I drink too much, and I don't remember that we record episodes. I'm dropping envelopes everywhere.
God damn it.
So, let's see Let's see if I get the first hat trick,
or you get the hat trick, yes.
Or if you kill the streak.
Break the streak and try to add to my value, which is kind of cool too, because here's the thing. I mean, even if you go on like a 10 record streak, eventually we're gonna get 10 records of mine that are gonna be listened to. So we're mixing it up even more. Adam mixed it up. I'll mix it up even more, and I'm
dropping shit.
39. All right, so 39. I can sell.
I'll drop the glass cleaner.
Oh, god damn it. It's a pink one, so chances are it's mine. It's mine.
Is
It's mine.
What do you got?
I'm looking forward to this. Violent Femmes.
Oh, nice.
Yes, where is it?
Pull this down. You pull out Violent Femmes.
Let me see. Excuse me, Snoop. Oh, god damn it. Dropping scissors. Where the fuck is it? It's not that, not that. There. Nope. Where the fuck is it? Did they move my fucking records around?
So we talked about I'm gonna get another hot dog. Probably want another hot dog?
I'll take another Snoop's Dogs.
Little Snoop's Dogs going on. So we talked about on the one episode, Paul decided to start rearranging my alphabetically arranged records. While our brother Mike was here this weekend, he threatened to open all of the envelopes in the box.
I would have fucking killed him.
So it's just common nature for the older brother to fuck with the younger brothers in some way.
Absolutely. So like I said, there's always differences in season 1 and season 2. We talked about that. Like season 1, me, Michael, and Brian, we used to steal each other's porn. Mm-hmm. And we wouldn't talk about it. We would just do it, and then that's my porn until you steal it back. You and Zach used to steal each other's clothes, and then Kylie's porn. Mm-hmm. So just whatever. It's it is what it is.
A lot of furry stuff.
I can see that. And then but either way, there is a universal season 1, season 2. We're always gonna fuck with each other. Yeah. We're always gonna fuck with each other in some way, shape, or form. So we are, so when I talk about, like we talked about, when we started putting our list together of albums because if you really think about it, sit there and think about your 25 all-time favorite albums that you like, whether they be on vinyl or not. I guarantee you will probably jump through 5 to 10 very quickly, but then after that, it gets a little difficult. This is one of the albums that always jumps to like my top 5. If anybody ever asked me, what's your top 5 favorite albums? This definitely is in my top 5. Honestly, this might be my 1 or 2. To be honest with you, it's like, and when you think about it, I always go back to listen to it. I'm probably going to talk too much. I don't want to turn this into a Violent Femmes episode as of yet. That's next week. But I am pretty excited about this, especially this album. Great album from a great band. So I'm just gonna shut up now.
To lend to, there's probably like 10 albums that come straight to mind. Mm-hmm. When I was making my list, there were definitely 10 that came right to mind. But then it was at a point where I lived away from my records for like 3 years at this point. I feel like, so I forgot what was in my collection.
Yep.
So I had to go back. Like there were 10 that popped up right away, and I was like, "Fuck! What else do I own on vinyl?"
What's funny about this is that we are sticking specifically to the stuff that we have in our collection. There are albums. I will say there are albums in my 25 that aren't necessarily my favorite album from that band. It's just that I don't have it in my personal collection. So.
Like I think you said with the specials episode, you would have
I would have put a different Ska album on.
Yeah, you would have had a different Ska album if you had it, but you don't.
Yep. So there we go. Next week's episode, Violent Femmes debut album. I actually have a 35th anniversary pressing of it. I think they're up to the 40th.
Jesus.
Anniversary pressing of this, so it's a great album.
And I was talking about feeling old because the band was putting out their 20th anniversary.
Yeah, exactly. So I am really looking forward to this. I have broken Adam's streak. We have a possibility of a special guest on this one.
Yeah, interesting.
We do.
Not Snoop.
Not Snoop. Not Snoop's. I mean, Snoop will be around. He's got to oversee things.
He's got to make sure everything's
right. Yep. And yeah. So, did you got anything else to add there, sir?
Just the fucking Snoop Dogg. You could enter to win Snoop's lowrider by texting Snoop's ride to 839-863.
I did that.
Did you?
And I got a message back like, we do not know what you're talking about. It was pretty funny.
I got a message back that just said, "Fuck you."
All right.
But yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Thank you for putting up with me and Paul eating fucking hot dogs.
Exactly. No, they're not regular hot dogs.
They're Snoop dogs. They're Snoop dogs.
They're Snoop dogs. We're eating Snoop dogs.
Coming out to a store near you this summer.
Yes. Snoop, if you see this and you hear us, you fucking let us know. I don't want any money. I just want you to be on the Country Hipster podcast and fucking retweet that shit so that everybody else goes to subscribe to Country Hipster podcast. But on that note, it is time to